Hey, good evening. It's John again. Got schooled by that only one team category yesterday. So I'm gonna try to make it up. Playing Immaculate Grid today. What was it? Only one team, and I said my Astros pick, which is a guy named Jose Sosa. I used him instead of the other Ryan Braun for the Royals. There was a pitcher named Ryan Braun for the Royals. That's who I should have. I think that was the name I said, hey, if I see this category again, this is the guy I'm gonna go with, but I totally forgot about him. So anyway, let's share and let's get rolling. Share my screen. You got the clock up there. That's where I should have picked him. Let's hit refresh and let's hit go, and away we go. All right, Doyle Alexander hits these teams. Let's see, Candy Maldonado hits these teams. Don't think that's particularly good. Actually, wow. Canseco, great. 300 career home runs. Well, Henry Aaron does that twice. Barry Bonds also does that twice. And Fred McGriff does that. All right, let's go with Ray Sanchez. Sure. Pedro Feliz. Great. And we'll grab our guy Julio Franco. One game with the Rays. Get an 80 in under 50 seconds. Pretty good all around combination. I did go sub one on all three of these guys born outside the US. Ray Sanchez, I've used him before for the Royals. I guess he played for the Cubs, but I used him before for the Royals and Braves just because I remember him being like the '03 time frame. I remember him being a like hot pros or not prospect, but a hot trade commodity. Um or '02 or something like that. I'm not saying I think it's not '03 because the Royals were actually good in 2003. I remember that year. Anyway, they Sanchez had like kind of a blip of a year that season. He was traded from the Royals to the Braves. Looks like it was 2001 was the year I'm thinking of. 303 with almost no slugging. It is 77 OPS plus. Finished at 64, but they were talking about him a lot. Like this is a big guy in the trade. I guess he's worth, 3.5 WAR there, but all of it was for Kansas City. Great defensive player. Mostly played for the Cubs, also played for the Rays. So I could have played him for the Rays. I'm gonna remember this guy. He hits the Rays, Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, Mariners, Braves, Royals, and Cubs. It's a lot of teams. Anyway. All right, so I'm gonna stop share reshare and we'll try to best that rarity score. Let's see. So we're finding the one from yesterday. This was my timed round. Hit and refresh. All right. So I think friend of the podcast, Al Simmons, gets to 300 home runs. He's a solid pick here. That's point one. Pretty good start. Man, I didn't even see how many there are, but I've got Canseco and McGriff. Actually, for both of these, Canseco and McGriff are like top of the mind, and then I'm trying to come up with some other people who work for actually both of these categories. Um, so that'll be interesting. Let's see. Roberto Hernandez is an available pick for all three of these teams. Um, Played like a season or less with both of these, so maybe that's the route I might go there. Never did play for the Blue Jays, but who did play for the Blue Jays? Mike Matheny. Another point one. Good start so far. Let's see. McGriff works up here. Phil Necro works. Otis Nixon works. I used Doyle Alexander. Um, that's an interesting one. Might come back to that one. And then down here, David Price, I think is going to be a big pick. In addition to McGriff and Canseco. Um, Manny Ramirez works here. He ever so briefly played for the Rays. So that's the third guy. I don't know if Carlos Pena gets there. Um, Castilla works. Greg Vaughn works. I think both of them are about equally famous as Rays in that not their main team, but they got there. Vinny Castilla finished with 319 career home runs, which is a number I know because it's the exact same number as Cecil and Prince Fielder. Let's see how that goes. Takes 2%. It's probably pretty good. Let's see. Giants. You got. See, I'm trying to remember, does Hornsby get to 300? I think he does. Johnny Mize will certainly work. He's in the 350 territory. I think Orlando Cepeda works. Of course, McCovey, both Bonds, Mays all work. Um, Daryl Evans is up over 400. He'll work. Andres Galarraga, I want to say, is at 399. I think he's got that number. I think he and Al Kaline share that number, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and Galarraga played like a season with the Giants. Kent will work. Um, don't think Kevin Mitchell works. I'm gonna go Andres Galarraga. Okay, he goes sub one. All right, now we're looking for some people born outside the US of A. Let's see. Let's think of some original Rays. Um, or original-ish. Actually, I'm mostly thinking of people who I think are. Oh, you know who'll work? Let's go with Rookie of the Year runner up, Orlando Rojo. All right, sub one. And then, what would a good one be? Candy Maldonado's Puerto Rican, but I've already used him, so I can't use him. Russ Ortiz, I want to say is Dominican, and he would work for both of these teams. What do we think of the one season of Javier Vasquez? We got some Keith Law Cy Young votes. He goes .2. I'll throw Roberto Hernandez. I consider him a friend of the podcast, even if he doesn't know it yet. All right. I don't think I've come up with anyone too much better than Otis Nixon so far, and I think he's over 1%. I think he'll be in the 2 to 3% range actually. Um, so I'm just trying to think. Is there someone? Oh, I got one. Catcher Charlie O'Brien, also a former Brewer. Nice 16-year career there for Charlie O'Brien. He goes sub one. It's probably better than Nixon would have been. And then we're in Rays territory, and we've listed, I think, three so far, who I think are all big draws. And those are David Price, Canseco, who I played. He played one season in Toronto, won a Silver Slugger, and then McGriff. I think all those are double-digit um, earners there. Is earner the right word? Who cares? So trying to come up with somebody else who's not those people. Jose Batista also works, also seems like he's going to get because he played for a lot of crummy, like, your mid-aughts, Pirates, Orioles, Rays, Devil Rays probably, um, type teams before really making it in Toronto. But he'll work. I don't know if he'll work particularly well. I might be imagining it, but I kind of think. Melky Cabrera makes an appearance on both teams, but maybe I'm making up both of them. For some reason, I'm not going to play him. I'm not confident either way. Um, let's see. Other Rays. Otherwise, I'll probably just go with Batista. Um, other Blue Jays. Some good relievers in there. Kevin Stocker, would he have played in Toronto? I don't think so. Um, Randy Wynn. Oh, you know who'll work actually? I'm gonna play Jose Cruz Jr. He hits both teams and goes sub one. I get a rarity score of 4. So it took me a little while to get there. Um, Kevin Kiermaier is the highest. Okay. So yeah, I would say probably Kiermaier, then Price, then McGriff, then Canseco, or something like that. Other than that, yeah, I don't know, no crazy surprises. Ooh, Wander Franco. All right. Cool. Well, I will call it there. Pretty happy with a 4. Um, and I'll be back at tomorrow. Thanks a lot for playing. Peace.